coming to your part. Let me see here. Well, I am excited, everyone. My name is Beth Graves, and I am the MC tonight for Cami to be launching and sharing her story because she's so passionate about what's happening with peptides, with GLP-1. And so tonight, as her guest, we want you just to walk away with some information to equip you to make a decision on whether getting started on your own peptide protocol is the right decision for you, and also just to support Cami and her beautiful new business. She's an entrepreneur. She is someone who is so passionate about health, wellness, and building wealth. And so we're excited to welcome her to Team Joy and Ellie MD. And I can't wait for you to hear from her. So my name is Beth. And like I said, I feel like a game show host. And this is our beautiful Cami. Look at this transformation. I can't wait for you to hear in detail, but we're going to do a little bit of information first on exactly what is a peptide. So when you hear a lot of you are like weight loss injections, why are we here? What are we talking about? And GLP-1 is just simply a peptide. And this is my very basic because I was not the science girl in high school, but I always sat next to somebody who was really smart. And so I explain it. ChatGPT always helps me explain this from the level of a fifth grader. A peptide is a short chain of amino acids. They act as messengers in the body. So peptides bind to specific receptors on cells and signal them to do things. And depending on what peptide you're taking, that's what sends the signal. So a GLP-1 will say regulate metabolism, reduce inflammation. So when you hear about peptides, they're all the rage. Regenerative medicine, you might have heard of things like BPC 157, GLP-1. There's so many. They help your body to communicate more clearly what it is that it's designed to do. So I like to think of my body when I hit perimenopause, like going into AOL dial-up. It just did not, it was the we were trying to get messages through, but there was so much inflammation and confusion. I feel like with the peptides, I have like a new iPhone body that the messages are getting there and I feel the energy and things are happening. So let's talk what specifically is a GLP-1, because that's what you're going to hear tonight from we have Brandy on who's going to share her microdosing. That's a small dose. I did the weight loss version, and Cammie's going to talk about her journey as well. So a GLP-1, you might have heard brand name Ozempic, Wegovy, Zepbound, Manjaro. Those are the brand names. And we personalize with compounds. So the GLP-1 is a glucagon-like peptide. What it is, it's a natural peptide hormone your body makes in the gut and brain. And what happens is we don't have enough of it. And so that is why we have blood sugar issues, a lot of appetite control issues. You're always feeling hungry. I remember eating a full meal and then thinking I needed seconds and never feeling satisfied and waking up in the middle of the night and eating a snack. And that was because my body just wasn't producing the GLP-1. It was basically all over the place, dysregulated. So GLP-1 helps your body to know when you're full, to use fuel better, and to stabilize energy. These are the other benefits that I love. And because I first started, and I will share my story as I share the slides, is I had gained 10 pounds a year from the time I was 45 to 55 when I started GLP-1. So 10 pounds a year, you're putting on, well, I didn't put on 100 pounds. I put on 60 pounds. And that was not like steady. It was because I would lose and gain and try every diet program under the sun, metabolically damage my body, feel super, super discouraged. And I had given up. And I had heard all of the horror stories about, like, I was reading, using TikTok as my source of information, not real science. And I was like, well, why would I put a weight loss injection in my body? And then I started to see my friends getting results and talking about how not only were they losing weight, but there was this calm from the chaos. And for me, I was sharing this today is beyond the weight loss, the research and clinical uses of the GLP-1s show that it reduces inflammation, improves cardiovascular health, better brain health, improves insulin sensitivity. You can read the best. It's not just a weight loss peptide, it's a metabolic and signaling regulator affecting the whole body. And this is what I said to someone when they, like, I'm a person who believes my mental and physical health, my mental health. Had so much food obsession from high school of being underweight, under eating, losing hair from that, over exercising, overtraining, to the obsession of after babies, thinking constantly, instead of enjoying those beautiful babies in my arms, about my body not cooperating. And that was a food addiction, obsession, body dysmorphia, all the things causing mental health issues along with the weight gain. And if you can relate to this, like you're speaking, I think a lot of us can. And I have found such relief. My brain is calm. I no longer fear food. I went to lunch with friends today. We ordered some pizza. I was satisfied after one small piece of pizza. It's not a constant thought process. I'm like, I'm gonna get my 100 grams of protein a day, hydrate, get my rest, keep my stress where it is. And it's just, food is neutral, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing that has happened. Here's my transformation story. And you guys, on the left, I remember somebody had said, we were at an event, let's have a photo shoot. Can you relate to how many times you've tried on outfits, tried to hide behind somebody else? I think I had 14 pairs of Spanx on. I was probably like literally suffocating. And then I got this picture back, and like, I was devastated. A time when I should have been engaged and enjoying, I was devastated with that. And then later, this is a trip to Cabo that we took with our Ellie family, which is part of what we'll talk about tonight. But I just want to thank Cami for being on, and being willing to hop in and share. What we're gonna do is, I think I'm gonna save you for last, Cami. I'm gonna have you wrap us up with this because it is your night. But I have Brandy on. Brandy, how impressed are you that I have this slide?
I was like, wow, look at you go.
So I love that you can hear multiple stories, because I'm coming from a 60-year-old postmenopausal woman who, and that mine was a menopause story. And Brandy has a story on microdosing. And that means taking small amounts of GLP-1. She wouldn't have qualified for the weight loss. Her BMI wasn't high enough. And I want her to share her story because it's very, very powerful.
Well, thank you. Well, I'm very excited to share this because it's taken me years to get to the place where I'm at. So to rewind a little bit, about 14 years ago, I was a competitive bodybuilder, so amateur competitive bodybuilder, and I worked extremely, extremely hard to get where I was, and I did very well with it. And unbeknownst to me, I had Hashimoto's. And within 6 weeks after my last competition, I put on 20 pounds in a matter of weeks. And I was working out twice a day and eating 1,400 calories a day. And I watched all my work unravel before my eyes, and there was nothing I could do about it. I tried everything to get my health back under control. It wasn't just weight, like I had brain fog, I was exhausted, I just felt sick. I hired some of the top bodybuilding pros to write my meal plans and workouts because I thought surely, like, everyone says you just need to, you know, eat less and work out more. Like maybe I just need to adjust my macros. So I spent tons of money working with these pros, didn't make any movement there. I hired functional medicine doctor after functional medicine doctor for years. I went without gluten, dairy, soy, corn, tomatoes, potatoes, rice, eggs, oatmeal, quinoa. I mean, the list go, that's literally things I went years without because I was convinced that that's what was keeping me unhealthy. I hit my late 30s and hit perimenopause. So like Beth, I kept putting on more and more weight, even though I was doing all the things. So then I started hiring hormone doctors. So tried all the things under the sun with the hormone doctors that I could, and nothing was working. And I remember going to the gym and just feeling like crying because I would see the same people I'd work out with every day, and they still looked great. And here I was, and I felt like I didn't even look like I worked out. And, it was so frustrating because when I'd hire a new functional medicine doctor, I almost knew what they were going to tell me to do. And I'd be like, I just want to make sure because I've done this and this and this and that. And they'd say, oh, and they'd think I was like joking that I had tried everything. And so then sure enough, they would be like, I don't know why it's not working because this works for everybody else and you're eating perfect. And I probably spent, if I'm guessing, over $40,000 on doctors over the past 14 years. And that doesn't even include, I would try every supplement under the sun. I read every book about Hashimoto's. I mean, I educated myself to death trying to heal my body. And I finally I was so frustrated. At that point, I think I'd put on about 50 pounds from my competition weight. And I was like, what am I going to be in, 10 years from now if I just keep putting on this weight? And like, I just don't know what to do. So I'd also heard, like Beth heard about GLP-1s, and I was terrified of it because I always wanted to try and heal my body with naturopathic doctors and homeopathic doctors and functional medicine doctors. And I would read the things that were on the media, which come to find out weren't always necessarily true. But after I dove in and did my research, I was like, oh, this is kind of not accurate. Like I started talking to more people that were actually educated rather than articles for clickbait, and learned about the GLP-1s. And so I thought, I'm going to try microdose. Like at this point, I literally have nothing else to lose. I'm just going to give it a go. So I started this in June. I'm now down 28 pounds. But more than that, I feel like a different person. I feel like I got my life back. Like I don't feel sick all the time. There were so many things that I didn't even realize were wrong with me. Like I didn't realize how bad my inflammation was until it was gone. Like it had gotten to the point I couldn't even work out every day because my body would just ache. Like I'd get out of bed and it would hurt from my feet up to my shoulders. And so I'd have to space my workouts every 2, 3 days. After 2 months on microdosing, I could work out every day back to back and not feel sore. And I thought I was just getting old or, something. I didn't associate it with my inflammation. But my pain level has gone down so significantly. Before the GLP-1s, I had hot flashes so bad. I could barely sleep. And again, I tried all the hormone doctors. Nobody could fix anything. And then I also had irregular periods for 5 years. Within 1 month of being on the GLP-1s, both of those went back to normal. So it's been literally life-changing for me. Other things that I've noticed, like the food noise, even though I ate really healthy, like I would eat breakfast and then an hour later I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm starving again. Like why I just ate. So I'd grab like a handful of almonds and be like, okay, and then have to talk myself into not snacking and just have this constant fight with myself because I felt hungry all the time, no matter what I ate. And so that immediately quieted. So it's like now I can eat breakfast and I'm fine till lunch, eat lunch and I'm fine till dinner. Like I still eat very similarly to how I did before, except I actually have more freedom with my food now than I did before. Like I can eat gluten. I went and had dumplings with my family last weekend, which is something I haven't been able to do in 14 years. And I did not flare up like I used to. Like, I don't know that I'd ever go back to eating gluten every day, but I could have dinner with my family and not say, hey, I can't go there because they don't have anything that meets my 20 eliminated foods. So I missed out on so much family time because of like all of my restrictions. Because before, if I had one little thing that was off plan, I'd blow up like 5, 10 pounds for a week or two. Sometimes it'd go away, sometimes it wouldn't. So now I can actually like enjoy time with my family and eat foods that I didn't eat before. It doesn't mean I go and eat a lot of it. Like Beth was saying, I'll have a little bit and be like, that was great. It was delicious. I still eat chocolate. I have like one piece and then I'm like, okay, I'm fine. It doesn't taste like more and I eat the whole bar. But I feel like I have so much more freedom around food and I don't stress about it 24/7. So it's literally been life-changing for me. And so I shout it from the rooftops for anyone that'll hear because it's 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 just been amazing. So that's my
Oh,
story.
Brandy, incredible, incredible. Thank you so much for sharing. And I know that I saw Cami shaking her head because she can relate to so much of that being a health coach, being in the wellness space. So I'm going to go back to this beautiful woman right here. And Cami, take it away with your story and why you're so passionate about having all of us on tonight.
Awesome. Thank you. Um, Actually, Beth, I Facebook messaged you just a second ago another picture. I don't know if you can throw that in while I'm chatting because I just wanted to share that one too.
Oh, yes.
Um,
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to put this up.
yeah, so because that before and after was just this year, just May, and actually I gained 10 pounds between May and August, but I couldn't find any pictures of myself. Um, but I have struggled with my weight since I was a little girl. For me, it has been a lifelong struggle. When I was 22, I had gastric bypass, and that's the picture that Beth is going to throw up here in just a second is when I was 22. So I lost about 100 pounds, and over time, I regained about half of that. Um, and so about 10 years ago, I turned to, yep, there's my other picture. So everyone says that, they want to go back to being 20. I definitely do not want to go back to being 20. Um, so about 10 years ago, I turned to a really low calorie program and I lost 70 pounds. So that's that after. But maintaining that meant living on roughly 900 to 1100 calories a day. And I did that. I did that for about 7 or 8 years. And that took a major toll on my body. So when I finally stopped about 2.5 years ago, my body completely rebelled. I gained 40 pounds in about 3 months, and that was working with my doctor and a nutritionalist, trying not to. Um, but I'd lived on nothing for so long that my body was just used to that. Um, my metabolism was incredibly damaged. My energy was low, and no matter what I tried, absolutely nothing would work. I even became a certified nutritionalist. I thought, maybe if I learn all the things, I can finally fix it. And I did everything by the book, and my body would not respond. Um, and I could lose a couple of pounds here and there, but it always came right back. In August, my doctor suggested tirzepatide. And honestly, I thought there's no, like, he didn't understand. I was still living on like 1,000 calories. And so an appetite suppressant was not what I needed. My gastric bypass actually still works very well. I don't get very hungry. But I thought, okay, I'll give it a try. The prescription he gave me was ridiculously expensive, and so I went to a local weight loss clinic. I actually did not start my journey through Ellie MD. Went to a local weight loss clinic, and when I started it, something shifted. My body started to work again. And I was eating the same amount, but the scale was moving, and I didn't even understand why. More importantly, my energy returned. I finally felt hopeful instead of frustrated. My clothes started fitting. Um, I felt good in my own skin again. And so as I started to lose weight and feel incredible, I wanted to understand why. Because like I said, I really was not eating that differently. And so it was blowing my mind that every week I would get on the scale and it would be down. Now, it wasn't a fast weight loss, but it was consistent. Every week I was losing, even if it was only a half a pound. And so my curiosity turned into a deep dive into peptides. And that became not just the GLP-1s, but all sorts of different peptides and how they worked. And there were some for hair and skin and energy and brain health and sexual function and longevity. There so many. And I started getting really excited about it. Um, and so that journey led me to LEMD. Where I now receive my care. So I loved the safety of it, the 24/7 access to the medical providers, and the fact that the prescriptions came from trusted US pharmacies. And I was saving money. It was less than I was paying at the local med spa. Um, they also had access to other peptides, which made me really excited. Because I really truly believe that peptides are the future in health health and wellness. Um, if you know me, and some people on here, I swore I would never promote weight loss again. I did that for a very long time. That is what drove me into that very unhealthy eating. And I swore I would never do this again. But LEMD is so different. It's it's not this works for some people but not for everyone, or you have to have this unnatural supernatural control in order to do this. This is, and it's probably not compliant to say this, but it feels like a cure to bring me back on a level playing field with everyone else in my metabolism and how my body works. And I know so many people in the same boat as me that have done really stupid things. Like I will admit, with my between my gastric bypass and my low calorie eating and my yo-yo dieting, I've gained and lost literally hundreds of pounds over my lifetime. And it's done really bad things to me. And I feel like I'm healing from the inside out. So this is a legitimate company based on real medical support, not quick fixes. I see the changes in my body. It's very interesting to me as I was looking at pictures. I'm much smaller than I was last time I weighed this amount. And that to me has kind of blown my mind too, because the body recomposition has been super exciting. So for those of you that feel stuck, exhausted, or like your body is fighting you, I hope that my story can help you maybe see that there is light at the end of the tunnel and there's another path to feeling better.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for sharing, and also for having that courage to put the story out. Like I think that for so long, many of us were like, oh yeah, I remember when I first started losing, people would say, what are you doing? Oh, the regular things. And then I thought, if I don't have the courage to talk about this intervention, this I think miraculous solution. And these medications have been around for decades in diabetic health. And it's just when we started looking at dosing, and when you heard Brandy's story about microdosing, when I first started, that wasn't even an option. And a microdose is if your BMI is below the qualification, you qualify for a very small dose. And what that does, is you heard with Brandy, it helps with her Hashimoto's. It helped with that inflammation that was causing her to just hold on to that weight and feel like, being at the gym and doing all the work and having that inflammation. And for Cami, it actually like is metabolically healing. Looking at eating 900 calories and still gaining weight is just a horrible feeling. And to also know that that weight is going to increase your cardiac risk goes up, the brain health, all of the pieces of what we're here to do, which is longevity, because we want to be around for a long, long time, but not just be here. But as my mom is doing, well, she's snow blowing today, not mowing her lawn, but she snow blowed her own driveway at 90 today, which is such a testament for longevity. So your question is how to get started. Well, the good news, you're on tonight as a guest of Cami, and not only do you get to have a beautiful, beautiful telemedicine platform that has physicians that will look at your medical questionnaire, and then once you order, they're available to you in your patient portal. An incredible 503A pharmacy we have our own pharmacy department that is just for LEMD. So you get your peptides, their Clover RX, is that you also have Cami there to support you, because she, as she said, she knows, she has worked in the nutrition space, in the wellness space, because along with this, we want to make sure that you're supported in your movement, in your protein. But it's not like a huge, you heard Brandy say, how many macro coaches did she hire? I mean, it is sometimes about having peace with food, and this is like the biggest thing I want to share is I feel like between the urge of I need food and the actual moment that you're eating the food, there's this pause. And during that pause, it's like, oh, what do I really need right now? And so it's no longer, I need to eat these 50 chicken breasts because it's on my macro plan. I can trust my body again. And that is such a great feeling. Cami, do you feel that way? Like there's this trust, like, oh, hey, I've got this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, before it felt like I was always planning what I could eat next, when I could eat it. When I was on the super low calorie diet, we ate every 2.5 to 3 hours, round the clock. Like if you were up, you were eating every 2.5 to 3 hours. And it consumed my brain. And when you're not thinking about food, it's amazing how much more thoughts you have.
Yes, you can build incredible businesses. I always say that, like, we are here to do great things, not think about, like, did I pack my car snacks? Right? I mean, how many of us have packed our car snacks? I even had like a towel in the car so that I could eat my car snacks. My kids would call it my car bib. So it's super simple. You're going to grab a link from Cami and you go. And what I would encourage you to do is to go to that website. It is full of information. When you click on, for example, weight loss, you can see scientific studies. It's not just like, hey, we've got a vitamin and it's going to be great. This is science backed. Like researchers at places like MD Anderson are studying what happens metabolically when we use GLP-1. I mean, the research is everywhere. If you haven't seen it, you're going to start seeing it. But there's all different things that you can take a look at. One of my favorites is going to the sexual health section. We have a great peptide called PT141. You can read about how that works, the microdosing option, and all of the longevity peptides. In fact, I bet Cami has sent you, and if she hasn't already, we had a Power of Peptides the other night that outlines other peptides that, because the good news is instead of getting addicted to, I always say, finding the greatest black stretch pants that I thought could hide the next 10 pounds, I'm no longer needing to spend money on Spanx and black stretch pants. So I like to spend my money on peptides. And also, I want to just throw this out here because if you know Cami, you know that she has a smart mind for business and she loves building community. So if you're like, you know what, this regenerative health space, telemedicine space, I mean, there's all these statistics and numbers I could tell you. But what I will tell you is this is if you're like, I wish I would have been on board when I don't Facebook, buying stock in Facebook back in the day. This is an opportunity that if you have a passion for health and wellness, talk to her about that as well. But most importantly, I hope that you take away the idea that it doesn't have to be so hard, that there are solutions. And if you're like, well, I don't have a lot of weight to lose. I don't even know if I have weight to lose. There are also different peptide protocols, and Cami is very educated. When she decides to dive into something, she dives in hard. So we even have peptides. She has a hair salon business, and we were talking about our peptides for hair growth. I mean, it is insanely amazing when you get your body back to optimal operating, what can happen. So I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Thank you for letting me be the game show host. And Cami, how would you like to close us out? Let me stop the screen share so we can see your beautiful face. There we go.
I just want to thank you guys. I appreciate it. I'm so excited to be part of this company. I'm excited to be at a space where I get to support and cheer people on, but it's backed by doctors that I don't have to be the knowledgeable person. I don't have to, give bad advice, and I don't worry about that because we're supported by doctors. You have your own personalized subscriptions that are going to be just for you to get you to your goals, and we get to be your cheerleaders.
Yeah.
So I'm just thankful. It's Brandy, it's nice to meet you. This is the first time I've heard her story, and that is so inspiring. And thank you for everyone that hopped on.
Thank you. Have a great night, everyone.
Night.